What does this have to do with anything? Well, men, a lot of times you will have women who play the victim role. You will have women who talk about what their exes did, why they broke up, niggas ain't shit, woo woo woo, yada yada yada. You heard a lot of excuses for how they got into the situation and the predicament that they got into without taking accountability for what they did. Now, if you look at Brittany Spears, this lady is like 35 years old, and she's saying that her father forced her to take birth control. Her father got her locked up or something like that. I forgot what it was. But it's like, lady, you are 35 years old. Come on now. You 40. How is somebody gonna keep you and force you to take birth control? And you not only a grown woman, you a granny. Like, come on now. Like, nah, nuh-uh. No, I will not accept that. I can't accept that. You have to take personal responsibility for where you're at in life. I'm just saying, I understand, people can have influence and stuff like that, but nah, you get no, I get it, but no, that's unacceptable. I saw this documentary and where this woman, she killed her 3 kids. She loaded them all up. She put them in the back seat. She ran into a river, and she killed her 3 kids. And during the documentary, they said, she was molested. And I'm like, oh man, that's horrible, right? Like, man, my heart goes out to her. She has my sympathy. And they said, yeah, she was molested by her father from like, I forgot the specific age it started as a teenager, but they said it didn't stop until she was 23, 24. And I'm like, what? Hold up. There's a disconnect right there, right? There's a point where like, nah, nope, I'm not accepting that. If you 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 23, what you mean you got molested? Nope. That's unacceptable. So it's like a lot of times you hear people play that sympathy card. You hear people play that sympathy role. And that doesn't progress their life. It's like, hey, until a woman is able to take responsibility of her own actions and stop, and I get it, man. I get it. I've been in relationships. I've been, in relationships that didn't work out. And at the end of the day, as a man, I take responsibility for all my relationships ending and not working out. As a leader, you have to put that on your shoulders. And as a leader of my relationships, I consider it my fault. It's my responsibility if it didn't work out, right? Either I didn't choose the right girl, or something. That's me, right? That's me. Or maybe it was the right girl and I fucked up. That's on me. I see where I fucked up, right? And you make corrections. But when you have a girl that's constantly, playing the victim card, be weary of that. It was this girl that I was talking to in New Orleans, man. She was fine as fuck. But IG model, all that shit, very beautiful. And she the first night we ended up fucking boom, boom. Anyway, but like she told me about her boyfriend who she had broke up with, her last nigga, right? And she was like, yeah, Isaac. She was like, yeah, Isaac, we broke up. He was abusive. He used to beat my ass. He would take my keys, take my car, lock me in the house, wouldn't allow me to leave, wouldn't allow me to do anything. And it was just horrible. And I'm like, man, my heart goes out to her, man. Like, that's horrible. And it still is horrible. There's no justification as a man to do a female like that. And if you a nigga that beat on women, you a hoe. You just a bitch, bro. Like, you got bitch energy within inside you. There's no reason to ever put your hands on a woman unless that woman is 210 pounds and look like Mike Tyson and throwing uppercuts or something like that, and you fear for your life. There's no reason for you to put your hands on a woman. With that said, let me say this. So I'm talking to this girl, And I'm talking to this girl, and some time goes by. She gets upset with me, and I begin to notice some of the shit that she would say. Um, we had a dispute to where she got, upset that I was fucking other girls and stuff like that. It's a long story. Anyway, she was like, nigga. I'm bad. She was like, yo, you are, in my noise, you are a hoe. You a hoe, fuck you, nigga. If I was there, I'd punch you in your motherfucking face, nigga. And I'm like, baby girl, if you was here, I promise to God you would not punch me in my face. You need to calm the fuck down with all that shit. You know what I mean? And she was like, fuck you, nigga. Ain't nothing good about you except your motherfucking dick, nigga. And I'm like, is that a compliment? I don't know. I feel bad. I never been this so hard and complimented. I don't know. I'm more than my dick, right? That shit hit me in the solar flex, right? Then the girl, what she said? She said, she said, yeah, nigga, you whore. That's why your motherfucking wife left you, nigga. She was so pissed off, right? And what I realized is like, okay, these is below the belt comments, right? She looked for anything, the most savage thing that she could think to say to me. She was trying to be savage as fuck, right? She was trying to be savage as fuck. Like, she was trying to tear my soul up, right? So I came to the conclusion of this. If she was fucking with a nigga who had a little dick, or she was fucking with a nigga who, I don't know, like, had Crohn's disease or something, had bathroom accidents, that shit is coming about. You all little dick, nigga, your dick is this big, you can't make me come. It's just fucking a nigga's soul up, right? and I can see a nigga who's made a bitch, right? I can see a nigga that's made a pussy snapping off and doing the things and being abusive towards her. And again, I'm not excusing that behavior, but I am saying that a lot of times there are, and Stephen A. got in trouble for saying this, but there are instances where women actually like, enjoy, or put themselves in situations to where they are abused. And I've experienced that in my life, right? No cap. I had with this particular girl, we was talking and she was like, when we go to the club, I like a nigga to like, be like all up on me, guard me and shit like that. And if another nigga come through and be like, hey, say hi or something to her, be like, nah, she good, like, don't talk to her. And I'm like, that ain't me. I don't know that. I mean, y'all might know each other. You know what I mean? I ain't about to guard you. Like, that could be your cousin or some shit. You know what I mean? And if that nigga can take you, that nigga could have you, right? So this particular girl, she was used to niggas fending over her, niggas like guarding her, niggas like, following behind her, sniffing her pussy. And in that way, it gave her a sense of control, right? It gave her a sense of like, this nigga really care about me. And the worst thing that you could do with a woman, with anybody really, is show them indifference, show them you don't care. That's the way you get your shit stabbed all the way to fuck up. Anyway, so I said that to say this, and I got thousands of stories that I could just talk about in this particular instance. But like, man, I would like to say this to you. Whenever you hear a woman playing that card and everything is everybody else's fault, those are red flags. You want to be very cautious around that particular female, because one day she'll be telling a story about you, about like how you did some shit, even if you like, I'm not outside of abuse or whatever, but she'll be telling a story about you, how you did her wrong to the next nigga, and she be crying and all that shit, playing the victim card, getting sympathy and dick from that nigga. You know what I mean? So it's the circle of life. So men, be careful out there. Women, if that is you, I think it's important for you to get yourself out of an abusive situation. And I think it's also important for you to say, what are the things if you're constantly being with niggas that beat your ass, what are the things that you are attracted to that causes you to end up in these type of relationships? You know what I mean? Anyway, Lapo's Logic, I'm out. Love y'all. Peace.